Welcome back to Father and Fun. Let's play Outlast. This is episode 15, and we are right near the end. There's just this and one more episode.
Just one more.
Yeah, so it's time for me to make good on my promises and bang out all that filler content I've been promising the thread. So, here's Chris Walker. And so basically, if you'll remember, we just saw Father Martin light himself on fire and burn himself to death. And he was like, okay, I fixed the elevator, now you can go. And while we're trying to go, Homeboy starts chasing me.
Here he is.
And I must admit, I forgot where I came from, so I kind of ran in circles a bit, but it didn't warrant me cutting out. I think it's kind of funny. And from what I researched, it's a common problem as well.
What, going around in circles?
Well, getting all twisted about and turned about. Like, you even see they lit up that tipped over vending machine.
Yeah.
That's where you're supposed to go. But I did not put that together.
How would you even know that? You'd have to be psychic.
Well, that's the thing. I should have remembered where I came from, but there was that whole cut scene, like so much has happened. The good news is he keeps going in the front door, so I just kind of run in circles.
Not the swiftest guy in the world, huh?
Yeah, well, luckily, I guess there's no programming advanced enough for him to, like, stand there and just be like, well, you're trapped.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, that would make for some really frustrating gameplay.
It's a very boring gameplay, too.
Yeah. So, finally, I actually had to load up a YouTube to see where to go, so... You know, I guess I'm paying it forward.
There you go. Can't he hear you up there? What's the matter with you?
Yeah, I guess he's just finding another way around. He knows this place better than I do. He's like Bane from Dark Knight Rises. I don't think you saw that one.
No, I didn't.
That's okay. So finally, we get in the elevator. We're supposed to be getting our way out of here. But you know there's a whole video left, so as you can imagine, it does not go as planned. Hello?
Hello?
Now, one of the things I should point out, because when this first happened to me, I was like, this is like a plot twist out of nowhere. But Father Martin said he fixed the elevator, and Miles will tell the story. So really, he didn't fix it to escape, he fixed it to, show you the last bit of what's going on.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, so he's not the most practical person when it comes to staying alive, but I guess we're still playing along with his burned up agenda.
Staying alive, staying alive. Oops.
Yeah.
Throw back to the 60s. Or 70s, or whatever.
You know, they actually made Saturday Night Fever had a sequel called Stayin' Alive, and it came out in the 80s. It was like 10 or it was way after the first movie came out. And it was same character, John Travolta. Sylvester Stallone, I think, wrote or directed it or something. Like, it's very strange.
Yeah, it would be with him writing it, yeah.
Well, he apparently had his hands in a lot of 80s movies, and I didn't even know it, but I've been listening to this podcast, How Did This Get Made, with Paul Scheer and Jason Mantzoukas, blah, 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 and that was one of the movies, and I learned a lot.
Yeah.
So, anyway, there's a huge tonal shift. We're in an underground laboratory with this Murkov corporation that we've been reading about. And things are iced over, hell's broken loose here. In fact, this is probably where it all came from.
This is where hell's frozen over.
Yeah, really. So it's an interesting tonal shift. There's not all that darkness anymore. Even the music is kind of different.
Still a lot of blood.
Yeah, the visuals fairly similar. Perhaps a bit more barbaric than we've been used to. Like, these are people who seem to have exploded. It's not just guys that were cut up or something.
Nothing simple like that.
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah, you can also kind of hear, like, there are these, like, squishy footstep sound effects. It's really... like, if you turn up the volume, you'll be like, gross.
Yeah.
There you go. To me, it reminds me of the old House of the Dead arcade games, where at first it's like a giant mansion full of zombies. Here's more Wall Rider. But then as you progress through the game, it becomes more sci-fi, more high-tech and stuff. So as we've been getting these info dumps, like exposition from the characters, we're also seeing it in the notes and stuff. So feel free to pause it and reread it, dear viewers, because it's getting real. So when you were a journalist, did you ever, like, meet any mad scientists or anything?
I met some interesting people. No mad scientists. I met one guy who was, his name was Wrong Way Corrigan. He tried to replicate the flight that Lindbergh did.
Oh.
Except he went the wrong way.
Oh my goodness.
And he went cross country. Instead of going over the ocean, he went over the country, yeah.
Wow.
So they called him Wrong Way Corrigan.
Oh man, he's never gonna live that down.
Oh no, of course not. You can look it up. I'm sure. I'm sure it's in Google. It must be.
Yeah. Oh, that's hysterical. What year was that? Do you recall?
Oof, I don't. It was a while ago, but interesting. Very interesting. Scientists. Not very many scientists.
Like, unfortunately, back in your day, there was no Neil deGrasse Tyson, so...
Right, and there really wasn't even Carl Sagan. There was Carl Sagan, but not in the way, we look at him and respect him today.
I see. Yeah, some friends of mine on Facebook were talking about this 80s, or probably more like 90s cartoon, The Magic School Bus. And someone was like, oh, I used to watch that in science class. And I said, you're lucky, I had to watch Carl Sagan.
I remember vaguely The Magic School Bus. I don't remember much about it, but it comes back to me.
Yeah, it's one of those things that was all over PBS, I think.
Yeah.
So here's the Wall Rider. And I actually decided to hang out and see what happens when he kills you. Just in case inquiring minds want to know. Basically, he just grabs you and goes inside you, and then you explode. Kind of like the Nightman.
Oh. How attractive.
One of the things they don't make clear, but I'll just go and spoil it. Well, two things. First off, you need to be in night vision mode to see the guy. Hello, friend. And secondly, when that alarm goes off, all of the side doors in the facility open, so that's how you progress. But for now, we're just gonna run from him. Meet an old friend.
Little baby. No more escape.
Tell me what's going on here. Who are those two people?
Well, that was the Wall Rider,
and
the other guy was that Chris Walker guy that's been chasing us through the whole game.
And they decided to take on each other instead?
Yeah, they kind of fought it out. So, at least that's one problem solved. Now we can focus on wrapping up this darn game. So anyway, I ran the wrong way, so I cut that out.
But look, I saw on the wall, I saw a fire extinguisher. Wouldn't that be a great weapon to use?
I would think so. I mean, it's better than nothing.
Yeah, blast them right in the face with it?
So here's another huge exposition, big info dump. We found Dr. Wernick, the crazy Nazi scientist who is supposed to be dead. But it turns out the Wall Rider is the manifestation of this guy Billy, and Billy's keeping him alive. There's a whole lot that goes on. So I just stand around and listen to it. Back when I was first recording it, I was like, oh, this will be a good time for us to just stop talking, but we can chat if anything comes up. Now, I don't know if that's true. He's saying the 3 triangle, it almost looks like a Celtic knot, but he was saying that's like the radiation warning, but for nanobots. So I've never heard of that before, but it'd be cool if it actually entered the vernacular. The thing is, I don't know how I feel about this. It's kind of an ongoing trope. It's one of those things when you can't write your way out of a high premise. You think everything is spiritual and ghostly and haunted, but it turns out, no, it's all technology, it's science.
You have to undo what I've done. No one can get out of this place while he lives. You must kill him. Something like this in 1944. Those fascists thought it was spirits. I let them believe it. Let them kill themselves, thinking there was some kind of afterlife now empirically promised to them. Force.
Another thing you'll probably notice is down here in the laboratory, a lot of the ambient music is just like violin stings, and it gets... I find it kind of grates on my nerves, but I might actually turn down, when I do a final render, I might turn down the background video game noise some more, even just to try and tune that out a bit. There's only one video left, so who knows, but...
What is he talking to the picture?
He's ruminating.
Ruminating?
I think he did reference it. They probably just didn't want to animate too much more. But, you know, he's not in his right mind either. No one's in their right mind in this game.
Are you trying to suggest that we're not in our right mind?
Well, when I was 10, if I was ever like, hey, someday we're going to be playing video games together on this thing called the internet, you might have thought I was crazy too.
That's true.
Alright, well that's the end of the exposition. 1 episode left and a couple filler intermissions. So I'm Espresso Steampunk.
And I'm Shecky.
Thanks for joining us.
See you next time.